All right, today we are diving into a real head scratcher. It's a collection of stories all built around one single name, M. Burhan. But as you're about to find out, the hero of these stories isn't just one person. He's more like a puzzle that keeps changing shape. Let's get right into it.
Okay, so let's start here. In one story, The Goal Force, we meet Burhan, this absolute football prodigy. He's got all the makings of a legend, that talent, that unstoppable drive. His whole world is about becoming a national hero. It's that classic hero's journey we all know and love. But hang on a second, because in a completely different story, Beyond the Pitch, we meet a 12-year-old Burhan who's done with sports, just given it up. Now he's this young engineering genius sketching out designs for what will become Forza Motors, a massive car company. It's a total 180-degree turn. So this is the big question, right? How can you have a football superstar in one story and a tech billionaire in another? I mean, these are completely different people with totally different goals. What in the world connects them? Just when you think you might be able to figure it out, to square these two versions of Burhan, things get a whole lot weirder. Believe me, the rabbit hole goes way, way deeper. Yup, you're seeing that right. In yet another story, Burhan is a spider sorcerer in Tokyo, fighting evil with characters from Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer. So, let's recap. We've got a football hero, a tech CEO, and now an anime sorcerer. How is this even possible? How do these pieces fit? To figure this out, to really unravel this mystery, we've got to go back to the beginning. We need to look closely at those first two foundational stories of Burhan. The secret is hidden in how they're built. So before we go any further, we need to talk about this one key idea: archetypes. You can think of them as storytelling blueprints. They're those classic character types like the hero or the wise old mentor that we just instantly recognize no matter what story we're watching or reading. Okay, let's look at the Goal Force again. This is Superhero Origin 101. It's got all the classic ingredients: a gifted kid, a crushing setback, a powerful moment of inspiration, and then boom, the hero is born with amazing powers. And this quote, this is the moment it all changes for him. He's hit rock bottom after a big failure, but it's his mom's absolute belief in him that lights a fire in his soul. It's what puts him on that path to becoming a hero. It's a perfect example of a turning point in a hero's journey. Now, let's flip the coin and look at our other foundational story, Beyond the Pitch. This one follows a different but just as classic archetype: the brilliant entrepreneur, the visionary who fights against all odds to create something that changes the world. And here is the catalyst for this Burhan. It's not some grand vision or parents' inspiring words. Nope. It's a dose of cold, hard, practical advice from his brother that steers him away from sports and towards business. A totally different trigger, but it's just as transformative. Now, when you put them side by side like this, the pattern just jumps out at you. Both stories have that initial catalyst, that crushing setback, and that final huge triumph. One guy becomes a superhero, the other becomes the world's richest man. They're two totally different stories, but they're built on the very same heroic blueprint. Okay, and this is where it gets really, really cool. The storyteller isn't happy just having these two separate heroes running around. They decide to start mixing them together. So you have these two completely separate versions of Burhan, right? Each with his own life, his own powers, even his own bad guys. But then, in a story called The Midnight CEO, these two realities just smash right into each other. This line says it all, doesn't it? The story doesn't choose, it merges them. Burhan, the brilliant CEO, is also the Goal Force. He actually uses his football superpowers to fight the crime lord from his superhero story. It's a full-on crossover. And if you think combining a CEO and a superhero is a wild idea, well, you haven't seen anything yet. The final version of this character takes this whole idea of remixing and pushes it to the absolute limit. And here he is, the spider sorcerer. This Burhan is just an incredible fusion of so many different pop culture worlds. He's got spider powers, he uses jujutsu sorcery, he's even got a breathing style straight out of Demon Slayer. He is the ultimate mashup character, a living, breathing example of pure creative combination. All right, so we've seen the individual pieces, and we've seen how they get smashed together to create something new. Now it's time to put that last piece of the puzzle into place and finally solve the mystery of M. Burhan.
Which brings us all the way back to our first question. After seeing the football star, the tech billionaire, and the anime sorcerer, which one of them is the real M. Burhan? And the answer is, it's a trick question. The answer is none of them. And at the very same time, it's all of them. See, the real Burhan doesn't exist like a normal character. He is more like a container, a blank slate the storyteller uses to explore all these different ideas of what a hero can even be. This gets us to the absolute core idea here. Modular storytelling. The best way to think about it is like building with Legos. You take all these familiar pieces, a superhero origin, a genius inventor, characters from your favorite anime, and you just snap them together in new, interesting ways to build something nobody's ever seen before. So what we've really uncovered here is a kind of formula, a recipe for this kind of modern myth-making. You start with a name. Then you build stories using those classic archetypes. Step 3, you start mashing those worlds together. And finally, you start pulling in pieces from other stories you love to create something brand new. It's a blueprint for creativity. And that's the big takeaway. The M. Burhan stories aren't really about one person named Burhan. They're about the infinite possibilities of storytelling itself. They're a powerful reminder that the ingredients for new legends are all around us, just waiting for someone to put them together in a new way. So I'll leave you with this final thought. This storyteller used football, technology, and anime as their Lego bricks. What about you? If you were the one telling the story, what pieces would you snap together to create a legend the world has never seen before?